Allah Akbar! Allah Akbar! Allah Akbar!
You're listening to a Nilabella original series podcast. Hello folks, my name is Nilabella of the class 12 English Standard 1, and this podcast will be about answering the question, what do distinctive images reveal about the nature of individuals, society in which they live in? For this, we'll be using the text Drover's Wife, In a Dry Season, and The Automat to answer this question. The distinctive images reveal the nature of individuals, which are resilience, integrity, alienation, and isolation within a harsh society they live in. The Drover's Wife. Henry Lawson creates themes of isolation and resilience in the bush in Drover's Wife. There are many memorable images in the short story Drover's Wife, such as bush all around, bush with no horizon. This is imagery as they are isolated with no horizon, bush all around, and flatlands. In addition, there are words such as bush consists of stunt, no undergrowth, almost waterless, are features of harsh and extreme barren land. This displays how Lawson broke away from the previous writers of his time and were not romanticism and idealism. Another example of a memorable image in their lines, the gaunt, sun-browned bushwoman dashes from the kitchen, snatches her baby from the ground, holds her in her left hip, and reaches for a stick. This is the first example of the mother being protective in the story. This demonstrates the struggle of a working-class mother who is in the bush alone, feeling isolated with the kids to herself, as she is a maternal figure that is protective of her children, and the fact that she is resilient to the many struggles. In the line, all her girlish hopes and aspirations have long been dead, the mother finds all her femininity within the young lady's journal, which is a magazine she reads, and as she hasn't reached her feminine expectations of her life through her feminine side of life which she yearns for. Within the line, wind rushing through the cracks in the slab wall threatens to blow her candle, and also in the line, the thunder rolls and the rain comes down in the torrents, is the usage of pathetic fallacy, where the weather demonstrates danger and vulnerability as the elements are against them. The line, big black yellow-eyed dog of all breeds and breaks his chain, are the distinctively visual description of the crossbred dog or mutt that is brawny and dark-colored. A powerful imagery mentioned through a small anecdote or flashback where she is left alone trying to find hope, but only to be left with a dead child while looking for assistance at her grasp in the line. One of her children died while she was here alone. Her surroundings are not favorable to the development of the womanly or sentimental side of nature. Through her integrity, it's as if she plays the role of the father, or in the sense of protecting her children, but really she's just a strong mother who is a battler and resilient to the harsh environment she lives in as a powerful motherly figure with her fortitude. The Automat. Edward Hopper creates memorable images of alienation and isolation, both in the physical environment and the psychological state of the subject depicted. The positioning of the character is distinctively visual, as the background is the dark exterior of the cafe through the window, while the lady is in the foreground, in contrast with the fruit bowl with her legs revealed, showing freedom, one hand ungloved, displaying openness and seeking the warmth of her hot beverage, whether if it's a coffee or tea, and her yellow, wearisome hat is drooping, setting the mood down. The poem is a companion piece to support the message of the painting. Within the poem, her dreams and aspirations is to get rich as a secretary. In the lines, I dreamt about that so long I thought it would happen, maybe I should go back. She is feeling alienated and isolated through a sense of disappointment as she is disheartened and depressed. Their expectations has not met, such as the Drover's Wife, whereas a young woman she originally had feminine aspirations for her life, but she is left with the kids all to herself in the harsh bush majority of the time while living in rural poverty, while the woman in the Automat was expecting material wealth, being a secretary, and being renowned for her work and all the fame and popularity. In a Dry Season, Lawson creates influential imagery through integrity and resilience in his short story In a Dry Season. Within the short story In a Dry Season, there are many distinctively visual imagery, such as the line, draw a sundowner sitting listlessly on a bench on the veranda, reading the bulletin. It displays a sense of monotony, of nothing much happening, like everything is mundane. Another distinctive image is when three settlers standing around filling their pipes. This is an example or portrayal of the champion of workers' rights, as they are working their asses off, not like a lazy bum. Despite rural poverty, they have managed to find employment in the bush, as in unemployment is high in areas of the bush. Display of character, as they have the integrity of working hard. There is a biblical allusion in I didn't have time to see whether the cook snagged or not. Perhaps he only thought of Adam, which is a reference to the Bible story of Adam and Eve, as they had to work for the rest of life, which is similar to the reference of Adam and Eve in Drover's Wife. An influential image is death is about the only cheerful thing in the bush. He utilizes irony, juxtaposition, dark humor, as it is a motif of death. blatantly jokes around with death, saying sarcastically it is cheerful. Slapstick humor seen in the line, I thought he was mad and he was about to attack the train, sort of exaggerating one's emotions, saying they were mad but actually wasn't. A memorable image is God bless the publican and the coach driver, God forgive our social system, which is an authorial commentary on criticizing the social system of Australia, as the publican provides a place to sleep and stay for the night while people looking for jobs, while the coach driver drives people around to help, which is showing how shitty the system is in terms of looking for a job in the bush, as they're fine examples of the Aussie battler as they fight to endure pain and being resilient. In the line, you could go to the brink of eternity as far as Australia is concerned and yet meet an animated mummy of a swag man. Creates pictures in the mind through the use of motif of death, including the line out upon the outback fiend, where the outback is used as a noun for a metaphor which is described as a monster due to its physical extremities. Imagery works like a camera in the line. He's a quiet-looking bushman in the corner of the carriage, grew restless, and presently he opened his mouth and took down the liar in about 3 minutes. As it is a juxtaposition of stock characters such as the bloody hard cunt who talks a lot of bullshit, while the other stock character, which is silent but deadly, like a person who doesn't talk shit but can actually fuck up a person through his resilience. Thank you for listening to Neil Abella's podcast.